That'll do. What I wanted to do today is make a sample piece to show the difference of just a Mylands friction finish versus a Mylands sanding sealer and friction finish, and then a Mylands sanding sealer with Yorkshire Grit abrasive in between, and then a friction finish. So I'm going to give this a quick sand with 180, then 240, and then I'm going to go straight to my finish. So normally I would blow this off with air, but for the sake of the video, I'm not going to go get the compressor. Obviously, dust is not your friend when you're doing finish, but we'll get her done here. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to apply just Mylands to this. I'm going to apply sanding sealer here and here. So with Mylands, it's my favorite wood finish for turnings, pens, things like that. Less is more, so a drop here. Now this is bigger than a pen, so it's going to take a little more than a drop. But I'm just going to apply it up to this line. This is a friction finish, yep. All right. So that's it for that one for now. Now I'm going to get my sanding sealer. And I'm going to put sanding sealer on both parts 2 and 3. I want to make sure I have enough to get it into the wood. Just coming out of the cut there. Just make sure I got enough on there. Now I'm going to let this sanding sealer dry, and then we're going to come back and we're going to sand this one, and we're going to use Yorkshire on that one. Okay, now that this is dry, I'm going to sand the middle with 600. This is what I normally do for, it's going to be hard to not go over. And I'm just sanding the sanding sealer down. This is just how I would do it traditionally. Do your method that works, but this is a great finish. And this wood is a little rough, so it's going to definitely give us some challenge here to make it look good. All right. Kind of dust off that. Now I'm going to apply Mylands Friction Finish to the number 2 spot. And I do like to turn it off. I'm sure it doesn't matter a whole lot, but preference, just to give it a little bit of direction here. All right, so that one is as far as we're taking that. Now, we're going to move on to the third section. I'm going to take my Yorkshire Grit here. And I've been using this quite a bit, and you can hardly tell I've been using it because it just doesn't take much. So get that on there. I'm going to start it low, but I'm going to decrease the speed. And I'm going to just work this in. And it's cool because you can kind of feel it getting finer as time goes on with it. You can really hear it in the beginning, and then it starts to get quieter. And it must be the stuff breaking down. Lower my speed just a little. All right, I'm gonna get a clean towel. And I want to make sure all the Yorkshire is off of here. You can see there's not much left there. It would be brown if it was. All right. So for the final section 3, I'm going to do the friction finish, just like I did on 1 and 2. And less is more with Mylands to me, so put it on, and then if you need more, add it, but don't put a lot on to start with. I think it gums it up and it doesn't look as good. I'm just kind of getting that warm under my fingers there. And you can always go back and put a second coat on if you want, but for the sake of this test, we're not going to. All right. So I have 1 with just Mylands, 2 with sanding sealer, then Mylands, and 3 sanding sealer, polished with Yorkshire Grit, and then Mylands. And I don't know if the camera can show it, but there's definitely a gradual progression of shine. Now this one I did just apply, so we can give it a minute, but it's pretty much set because it was warm. But this kind of is a neat experiment to show the difference in these procedures. I can tell you by this and my other turnings, I will always use that Yorkshire Grit in between my sanding sealer and my friction finish because it gives a shine that is undoubtedly better.